Hello everyone, TMMgamer here, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you another one of my FIFA 13 tutorials. However, this one is a little bit different because over the past couple of weeks I've had a couple of requests from people asking me to upload a full game of mine, talk you through it, and talk to you about what I'm thinking when I'm playing and what I'm looking for. So hopefully that's what I'm going to do for you today. So the game I've chosen for you is a Division 1 game on Ultimate Team, and as you saw from the first 20 or so seconds of the video, he has got a very good Premier League side. He's got Aguero, Chore, Rooney, Company, a top quality team. And obviously I'm playing with my Spanish League team, which I showed you that in the video about 2 days ago. So if you don't know what it is, go back and have a look. However, it does have a couple of changes in. I've got Turan in the central attacking midfield spot instead of Ozil or Fabregas. So there are a couple of changes, but it's a pretty strong team as well. But whenever you go into a game like this against a very good team, what you're looking to be is as tight as possible for the first 20 or so minutes, because if you go into a game with a team this good, you know two things. Either the player you're playing has spent a lot of time on the game, because to get the millions of coins you need for a team that good, you're going to have played 700 games minimum. However, the other thing is he could have just spent a lot of money or got very lucky in a pack. So he could have just spent like 100 games online, bought a couple of packs, got on form Ronaldo or someone, sold him for loads, and now got a good team. So you need to establish whether he's a good player who spent a lot of time on it or someone who's just got a bit lucky. Now in this case I found out that he's a pretty good player, and you can see from the opening exchanges here I haven't really got too much of the ball. It's been a bit scrappy, a bit battly in midfield, and what you can work out from this start is that this guy knows what he's doing, because you see a lot of players who you play online and they can attack quite fluidly, because attacking is always the easiest thing to do in FIFA. However, you can tell a newbie player through his defending, because defending is a lot trickier. So if you're easily tearing through a team in the first 5 or 10 minutes, you begin to realise that they're not really that good of a player, and you can start to knock it around more and begin to exploit the spaces, and then all of a sudden you get an early goal and you can just go on and win comfortably. Now in this game this isn't the case, and you can see here I'm trying to knock it around, trying to work some space, and he's pressing the ball, he's stopping me from doing that, it's bobbling around, I can't really get anything going. So what you're looking to do in this situation is to stay patient, because you see a lot of players get frustrated when they're up against a good defence and try and punt it long directly or try and force a through ball like I did there, because when you do that, like you see here, you give him the ball back and then he can counter-attack from that deep defensive line. So what you're looking to do is knock the ball around, try and hold it as long as possible. But against a player this good, it is tough. But what you need to do is stay patient, keep knocking it around, and you do begin to get chances. And that's what starts to happen in this game. But I just want to quickly talk about defending against a player like this, because I've heard a lot of you guys say that you struggle to defend against teams who sit deep and then try to counter-attack you. Now, that is my preferred tactic, because it is a very efficient one. But what I would say to try and counter that is try and put yourself on a defensive mentality. And I know that sounds quite negative. However, when you're up against a player who's playing defensively, the temptation is to put attacking on and really go for it. However, that's what you don't want to do. And you saw in the clip there, I've switched back to defensive now. Now, this isn't because I want to be negative. On the contrary. But if you play attacking against a team like this, you leave too much space in midfield for a counter-attack. So what I normally like to do is go to defensive, because that encourages my central defensive midfielders to sit deeper as they are here. And you can see now they pick the ball up in a lot more space, so that gives me more opportunity to find space and move the ball up the pitch. When you're on attacking, those two central midfielders push up the pitch further, and that cramps the space even further, because he's sitting deeper, so then all of your players have basically moved on to him and there's even less space. You can see here, I've gone on defensive, my central midfielders have dropped deeper, and that's forced his midfielders to come to me or give me loads of space. And the immediate effect of that is pulling his midfielders out of position. And then all of a sudden you've got a lot of space in between defence and midfield that you didn't have before. And that encourages his midfielders to go back and get pulled out of position, and suddenly centre-backs get pulled out of position, and then you can put a ball through and score a goal. And that's exactly what ends up happening here. In about 5 minutes time, I think I end up scoring my first goal. And this is really what I wanted to get across to you guys. Don't get frustrated when you're up against a good player who can defend deep. You just need to stay patient, change your tactics up a little, and that switch to defensive Although it sounds like the negative option, it is definitely the complete opposite, because it forces your opponent to do something different. You don't want to have to play to his strengths all the time, and if you just go gung-ho attacking, that's exactly what he wants. But as you can see here, I've gone defensive, it gave my midfielders more space, I play one ball over the top, one bit of skill, and suddenly boom, I'm 1-0 up. And in this situation, I'm absolutely loving it, because I play exactly like this guy does, because it is really hard for players to get into their head how to beat it. So immediately now, I've gone 1-0 up, I'm defensive now, and I'm not going to change that, because all of a sudden, the impetus changes for my opponent. I've just gone 1-0 up, and his game plan's done, because he was planning to sit back, soak up pressure, then hit me on the break and counter and get that goal back. Because I've now gone 1 goal up, he has to change that game plan. Yeah, he can sit back for the rest of the game, but now I'm quite content to do that. So I can just knock the ball in midfield, force him out of position, take time out of the game, and try and put a player through on goal. So you've really put your opponent in a quandary now. What does he do? Now, fortunately for him, it's quite early in the game. If this happens in the 80th minute, he's only really got one option. He's got to go for it. But at this stage in the game, there's no need to panic. Just knock it back to balanced, have a look and see if you can get the ball around in midfield and take your time. And this is what he tries to do to me here. You can see he's not panicking, he's not punting the ball upfield, he's trying to knock it around. Now, from my point of view, what I'm looking for here is no stupid mistakes. You've just gone 1-0 up against a pretty talented player. You know, he's got a great team, and as you can see here, he can pass the ball around. What you're trying to do at this stage is limit what opportunity he gets. You don't want to give him that clear-cut chance. You want to force him to do something a bit special, but unfortunately for me, that doesn't happen. He puts the corner in. Carlos Puyol has an absolutely ham-fisted header. I mean, for someone with nearly 90 heading, that was a pathetic attempt, as you can see here. Oh, I skipped it, never mind. He heads it straight to Vincent Kompany, and he gets an easy tap in. And all of a sudden, he can go straight back to his game plan. So I was pretty gutted here because, you know, he'd started off defending really tightly. I changed my game plan, found the success with the move, scored the goal with a great move. And then all of a sudden, I was defending tightly. You know, he hadn't really had a clear-cut chance. I'd limited him to, you know, shots from the edge of the area or shots at an angle. So he wasn't really going to get anything special. And he got that lucky goal. And all of a sudden, I win a penalty. And I think, right, I can get straight back into this now. Score the penalty, move on. But as you can see here, I missed the penalty. Now, at this stage of the game, against so many players online, they would go into FIFA rage. And I've done this before, and I can tell you it doesn't help you play better. You know, I've gone, oh, stupid game, what was that? Oh, you've ruined it, wrecked my chances, I can't believe I missed that penalty. And the only thing that happens if you do that is you lose games. So I was really annoyed at this stage, but I sat back and thought, you know, I've played okay in this first half. I haven't dominated the guy, but I've never really looked like conceding. The only goal he scored was a bit of a dodgy bobble at a corner. The only other chances he's got have been shots from the edge of the area or half chances at an angle that any day of the week I'd expect Iker Casillas to save. So there's no need to panic. I've gone 1-1. It's not like I'm losing. I've had a solid first half, and I can see that if I continue to play well, there'll be opportunities for me to score. So there's absolutely no need to panic at this stage, and that's what I want to get across to you guys. You know, you can see from the stats there, it was pretty even. I wasn't dominating by any stretch of the imagination, but I can see that if I just keep playing what I'm doing, knock it around a bit better, I can beat this guy. So there's no need to go charging around. There's no need to rage. Because you've run into a lot of good teams online. You've got to get used to playing against good players. You know, against a bad player, if you have a bit of a rage, it doesn't matter because you can come back and beat them when you get your head set in the second half. But against a player who knows what he's doing, they're not going to give you that opportunity. As soon as they see you trying to panic or do whatever, they'll just pick you off, score another goal, and that gets you more and more angry, and you just go down a massive slide, and you end up getting whacked. So FIFA is a pretty random game. Every now and again, it does kick you in the balls. I mean, I uploaded a video a couple of weeks back showing you some absolutely horrendous bobbles that cost me promotion online, and I was absolutely gutted by them. But for every dodgy bubble you get against you, you get one for you. It does come back around, so there's no point throwing your controller at the wall or doing something stupid. And you can see here, you know, I'm trying to get the ball down, I'm trying to knock it around, I'm trying to play and get my head back in it. So I'm just keeping doing what I was doing in the first half, just trying to get the execution better. Because The plan is always to pass the ball around, to knock defenders out of position, then put a ball through. That's always my route one. If that doesn't work, then I play the ultra direct, get it down the flanks, get it to the wingers, put crosses in. You know, that's my plan B, because that's very, very simple to execute. But if you play the passing game well, it is much more effective and you can tear teams apart. But it wasn't really happening for me. So what I decided to do is keep doing a few more long shots, and that is exactly why I recommend to do it to you. Because you saw my passing game, I'd been trying it for a bit, it wasn't really working. I went to the slightly more direct game, so that's getting the ball down the flanks, putting crosses in. Every little opportunity you get within 20 yards when your player's in space, have a shot on goal. Because you saw there, I had the shot on target, the opposition keeper parried it up in the air, I managed to win the second ball, it dropped to Falcao, boom, I put it in the top of the net. And now all of a sudden, I am well back in this game. You know, I haven't played particularly well, but I've been clinical. And this is exactly what you need to do here. You saw there, one pass, 1-1-2, and then all of a sudden I'm 3-1 up. So from being in a situation where I hadn't really played particularly well, I'd had a bit of bad luck go against me, to all of a sudden, literally 30 seconds later, I am in a very, very commanding position here. And that's what I want to get into your guys' head here. It would have been very, very easy for me to go, oh no, what have I done? I've ruined it, I've lost my chance. But what I tried to do is to stay calm, go, yeah, it doesn't matter, I ballsed up, and keep playing football. And eventually, I got a bit of luck, took two very, very good chances, and now all of a sudden the ball is firmly in my court. Because I explained to you earlier, what I like to do is just keep on defensive, sit deep and launch counter-attacks, and you can see me start to do that here. You know, I absorbed him up the field and then managed to slot a ball through, and unfortunately for me I ham-fisted the finish. But you can begin to see what my tactic is now. I stay nice and tight, try and win the ball a little bit deeper up the pitch, so then all of a sudden I suck his players onto me, win the ball in midfield like that, and then I can start to launch more counter-attacks. Because once his players are moving up the field, and they're going to have to, because he's 3-1 down now, he has to come and try and win the game, because it's in the second half, time's against him. If he doesn't score soon, the chances are he's going to lose the match. So he has to come out and be more attacking. So that plays directly into my team's strength. I've got a couple of pacey wingers, I've got a lot of players who are fantastic on the ball, so the passing and movement is very slick. You can knock it around very, very quickly. And even with players like Iniesta, who only have low 70s pace, I think, because his dribbling's so good, because his control and movement and passing are so good, they fly around the field and you can really take advantage of space quickly. And you can see here, I just knock the ball around, 2 or 3 passes, I'm in absolutely miles of space on the wing, very, very easy. And this is the great thing about counter-attacking, and that's why I wanted to get that tutorial up for you guys, because once you've gone up in the game, the temptation is to go, right, go gunko, I'll go attacking, I'll try and press my advantage. That's not the way to go. It's always better to be a little bit more solid for the first 5 minutes after you've gone ahead, to make sure you don't concede early, because once you've done that, you're only going to annoy yourself. It's much better to stay a little bit tighter, exploit the play and bring your opponent onto you, because that gives you a lot more space to play with. You know, whenever you're playing against a team that plays 5 at the back, don't go off and charge up and get right in his face. Sit a bit deeper, keep the ball in midfield and try and drag him up the pitch, because that'll give you a lot more space to play with. And that's what I managed to do very, very effectively here. You see, whenever my players pick the ball up, they're in 10, 15 metres of space sometimes, and you know, I played a bad ball down the line there, but if I played that better, Falcao would have been in miles of space, and from there it would have been very, very easy to check back in or try and put a ball through for a shot. So you know, this is a great way to play, and it's quite a simple way to play as well. All you have to do is just be disciplined and think about not charging off and trying to ruin the game by trying to win it in 5 minutes, because you know, if you score 3 goals in 5 minutes, yeah, you would probably win the game, but the chances are you're going to get hit on the break and concede, and then you're going to be forced to be even more attacking. Try and be tight, try and get that first goal, and then when you do get that first goal, you can pass and exploit your opponent's willingness to get up the field. Because as soon as players go down, they get frustrated, they try and be too attacking, and then you can punish them. And I'm 3-1 up now. I can just take as much time on the ball as I want, knock it around, and really punish his mistakes. And I do end up getting one more goal in about, I think, 5 minutes of gameplay. And it's another great chip through ball, run down the flank, dink it in the middle, and Benzema ends up lobbing the keeper from the edge of the area. And I mean, you can see there, he's getting frustrated. He tried to do a skill move which was never going to come off. You can tell in this situation that, you know, he's a little bit rattled. So what you want to do is just not do anything stupid. Keep the ball, play nice and compact, and then hit him on the break and counter when you have the opportunity. And this is the goal that I'm scoring here on the counter-attacking. See, it comes from one of his corners. I play one pass in, drag the centre-half out of position, play that one little dink ball over the top, and Benzema chips it into the corner. And 4-1, in this point of the game, you know, as long as you don't do anything stupid, you've won. So, in the last 10 minutes, my advice really does come home even harder. Just keep the ball. Don't try any stupid flicks with your defenders or try and be cocky. Because if you give him one goal early in this situation, he's got a way back into the match. All of a sudden, the momentum's with him and not with you. So, in this situation, try and play as much of the game in your opponent's half, but don't go gung-ho. Don't go chasing another goal. If you play well, you will get another one. But just keep knocking it around, put him under pressure, and as you can see here, you win the ball back, and then you can knock it around in midfield again and take a bit more time out of the game. So, guys, the commentary's slowly winding to an end here. I do manage to hold this guy off for a 4-1 win, and I really hope you've enjoyed just watching the game and listening to me talk about what I'm thinking when I'm playing, because yeah, I've had a couple of you guys request me to do this, so I hope it's been useful, and I hope you learned something from it, because I think it's very, very important not to let all FIFA's, you know, cheeky bobbles or a bit of BS ruin your game, because if you keep doing what you know you can do and play well and knock it around, you can beat good players and good teams. And you saw at the start of the game, this guy had a very, very good Premier League team, an 86, 87 overall rated. You can see from his defending, he's no mug, he knows what he's doing, and he was a very hard game. However, I still managed to beat him 4-1. And this is what I'm trying to get across to you with the tutorials. You know, you don't have to blow players away 8-0 all the time. Beating a guy like this, playing like I did, winning 4-1 is a great achievement, and games like this come more often when you can defend well, exploit chances, and break easily. So guys, I really hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.